Good afternoon, welcome to VANIK-IAS. We will discuss current affairs of 17th October. First, we will discuss objective questions. With reference to Indian judiciary, we consider the following statements. Any retired judge of the Supreme Court can be called back to sit and act as Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with the prior permission from the President of India. The constitution benches are set off on an ad hoc basis, and it is binding on the just a second. The constitutional benches are set up on an ad hoc basis, and it is binding on the CJI to be part of the constitutional bench of Supreme Court. No, CJI do not becomes part of the Supreme Court bench always. So second state of wrong. Supreme Constitutional Bench, because it is the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. That is the constitutional responsibility of Supreme Court to, if there is any issue regarding the interpretation of Constitution, Supreme Court is the apex body and its decision is final. Right? For example, right to privacy is a fundamental right. This is cleared by the Supreme Court. Right? So this is constitutional questions. So in this case, CJI is not bound to be a part of the constitutional bench of the Supreme Court. So second statement is wrong. Only first statement is right. Ad hoc judge can be appointed. Right? They can be appointed by the Chief Justice of India with the permission from the President of India. So one only is the right answer. Original jurisdiction of Supreme Court, it talks about there is two things. One is constitutional interpretation of Constitution, and second is if there is any conflict between the states and the states, if there is any conflict between the states and the center, and or if there is any conflict between group of states and center, then that can be referred to as, that can be said as a original jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Okay. India has been consistently recording lower values for the four indicators. It started going off in last 5 years for undernourishment and prevalence of wasting the children. Yes, consistently India has lower values. These indicators in the index include undernourishment, yes, child mortality, child wasting, and child stunting. Yes, this is global hunger index, that is about undernourishment, child mortality, child wasting, and child stunting. What do you mean by undernourishment? When the nutrition required for the proper growth of a child is less than what is required. Nutrition intake is less than what is required for the body and the cognitive development. That is called as undernourishment. And child mortality is when the health of the mother and the child is not proper during the time of childbirth. And child wasting means the weight of the child will be less than what it should be. Right? Weight of the child will be less than the proper weight, that is called as child wasting. And child stunting when the weight of the child is less than the proper height. Right? Suppose this should be the height, but the height is less than the proper height that should be, that is called as child stunting. These are the key indicators of the global hunger index, and India is a poor performer consistently. So both the statements are right. Just a second. Okay. Next, Wanganui River, first in the world to be given legal status, is associated with which country? Wanganui River, mm, yes, Wanganui River, it is associated with New Zealand. Right, Wanganui River in the first in the world to be given legal status is associated with which country? That is New Zealand. Recently, Sagarika K15 is in news. Is related to which of the following? Sagarika K15 is related to which of the following? Submarine launched ballistic missile, surface to surface air missile, short range ballistic missile, surface to surface air missile, medium range ballistic missile, or anti-tank guided missile. See, you can just observe the name. That is Sagarika, right? Sagarika means it is sea. So obviously the answer will be submarine launched ballistic missile, that is Sagarika K15. Okay, A is the answer. Just by observing the name, it is Sagarika. So sea, Sagar means sea. So these both will be wrong. It is not an anti-tank guided missile. Nags are the anti-tank guided missile. Nag are the anti-tank guided missile. It is Akash and this is Trishul. Right. These are all coming under IGMDP. IGMDP means Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. Right. This is started in 1985 around. In 1985 around by APJ Abdul Kalam. It was the brainchild of APJ Abdul Kalam, by which we have started Prithvi, Agni, Akash, Trishul and Nag. Anti-tank guided missile is Nag. Prithvi, Agni, Akash, Trishul and Nag. These are the 5 types of missiles that are started under IGMDP, that is Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, which was developed by APJ Abdul Kalam. Next, which of the following submarines of Indian Navy Kalahari class has been commenced into sea trials recently? Kalahari class, it is INS Bhagir. INS Bhagir has it is Kalahari class. Remember, class is Kalahari class, has commenced into sea trials recently. Right? INS Bhagir. Sayonara attacks is often mentioned in the news. It is of USA or North Korea or South Korea or Japan. South Korea or Japan. Just by name, if you observe the naming system, nomenclature system, right, you can find that this is not English name. Sayonara, it may confuse between maybe North Korea, Japan or South Korea. It is answer is Japan, right? Japan is associated with Sayonara attacks. So why this Sayonara attacks? What is that Sayonara attacks? It is especially when travelers they pay visit to Japan. When they leave Japan, they will pay. When they leave Japan, they have to pay a tax. Right? Travelers who are leaving Japan, they will have to pay a tax that is called as Sayonara tax, that is imposed by Japan. Recently, India's Post released a special cover on Seabuckthorn. It has been identified as a product of which district under one district on one product. Right? One district, one product. What is this one district, one product scheme? It is to develop the manufacturing sector. Right? Manufacturing sector, because that produces maximum employment. Right? So this every district, at least one product should be developed. that is that scheme that is under one district one product scheme. It has been identified a product of which districts under it is. Yes, it is Himachal Pradesh government has decided to, it is under Himachal Pradesh government. Himachal Pradesh government has decided to start planting sea buckthorn in cold desert areas of the state. Right, in the cold desert areas of the state, sea buckthorn that is going to be established, and it is, remember, it is a shrub species, orange yellow colored, orange and yellow color, orange and yellow color, right? That is sea buckthorn, and here the answer is, it is Leh district. Okay. Leh district. In Leh district it is going to be, yes, India Post releases special cover that is in of Leh district. But it is also in other areas, that is in Ladakh, Spiti also is a grow. This sea buckthorn is also cultivated. Which of the following statements about the National Human Rights Commission is correct? National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, it consists of 10 members. Is correct. Yes, it consists of 10 members. Its powers are only binding in nature. No, these powers are not binding in nature. Right, NHRC powers are not binding. It is only recommendatory. It will recommend to the state governments. Right, these are the violations of human rights. It only recommendatory power. So this is wrong. NHRC can take suo motu cognizance of the media report in a matter related to, yes, it can take suo motu cognizance, means that means it itself can take the matter itself. Its chairman must be a sitting judge of Supreme Court. No, retired judge. Usually they are retired judge of the Supreme Court. They are declared as they become the chief of the NHRC. Right. Composition of NHRC is that is 5 full-time members and 7 deemed members. 5 full-time members and 7 deemed members. These are and one person with the Chief Justice of India, who has been Chief Justice of India, will be appointed as the chief of NHRC. Okay. They will have a tenure of 3 years and maximum age is 70 years. Right. We know the Supreme Court judge can be maximally appointed up to 65 years. So NHRC, it is up to 70 years NHRC. Okay. So C only is the right answer. ISRO launched 36 satellites of UK's Global Communication Network OneWeb. Use of GSLV Mk3 with reference to India's satellite launch vehicle. Consider the following statements. PSLV launch satellites are useful for Earth resources monitoring, while GSLV are designed mainly to launch communication satellites. Yes, especially PSLV, that is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. These are Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. These vehicles are especially useful for Earth observation satellites. That is, from suppose this is Earth surface, hardly up to 400-500 km. Usually in the low Earth orbit, this PSLV are used so that it will monitoring the resources or Earth observation satellites. But in case of GSLV, that is Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, that is especially used at 36,000 km from the Earth surface, and that are called a GSLV. And usually they launch communication satellites. So first statement is right. Then satellites launched by PSLV appear to remain permanently fixed in the same position in the sky as viewed from particular location of Earth. No, this is not wrong. This is wrong, because They are not fixed. It will be possible in case of geostationary satellite. Among the geosynchronous satellites, that is there is a particular satellite that revolves around the equatorial plane, right? Among the geosynchronous satellites, all the satellites that revolves around equatorial plane, that can be seen as a stationary to Earth surface. That is called a geostationary air survey. So it is not PSLV, it is under GSLV. GSLV Mk3 is a 4-stage launch vehicle with first and third stages using solid rocket motors, second and fourth stages using liquid rocket engines. No, this is wrong. In case of PSLV, we have solid liquid. This is the engine of PSLV. But in case of GSLV, it is solid, liquid, and cryogenic. Right? In case of GSLV, it is solid, liquid, and cryogenic. So it is a 3-stage vehicle. Right? So so one only is the answer. 3-stage vehicle. Solid, liquid, and cryogenic. In case of cryogenic, hydrogen fuel is used, and hydrogen fuel is used. Why it is cryo? Cryo means extremely low temperature. That is around minus 250 degree Celsius in this case. Because hydrogen, we cannot store hydrogen at in gaseous state. So to make it at lower in liquid state, we need a minus 250 degrees Celsius. Minus 250 degrees Celsius, and that is the temperature at which hydrogen get liquefied. So one only is the answer. Next, PM of India to dedicate 75 digital banking units to the nation with reference to the digital banking units. DBU. Consider the following statements. DBU is a specialized fixed point business unit or hub just a second. Okay, so DBU, which of the following statements are not correct? Which of the following statements are not correct? DBU is a specialized fixed point business unit or hub housing certain minimum digital infrastructure for delivering digital banking products and services as well as existing financial products and services digitally. Yes, digital banking units, existing financial services products digitally, and delivering digital banking products, services as servicing and minimum digital infrastructure. First statement is right. So first statement is correct. But it is asked which is not correct. DBU will be subject to prudential and liquidity norms at par on the existing commercial bank. No. Existing commercial bank, we have, there is CRR, for example, there is SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, there is CRR, that is or that is called as cash reserve ratio. All these things that will not be maintained in case of DBUs, right? In case of DBUs, they are efficient, paperless, cost effective, right? So they are not prudential. Liquidity norms are not with the commercial banks. So second statement is not correct. So question is which is not correct. So 2 only is the not correct option. Okay. So now we'll go for prelims facts discussion. We'll discuss prelims facts. Okay, legal right to non-humans. With novel approaches being put for the tackling the climate crisis in the last few years, the concept of granting legal rights to natural entities has been discussed in the recent report called as Law in the Emerging Bio Age. The report has proposed giving legal rights to plants, animals, non-living entities is crucial. Legal rights to plants, animals, and non-living entities is crucial to building meaningful human-environment relationship in the future, right? So to counter the climate change, we have to give legal status to certain important part of our biodiversity or for environment. For example, certain plants, certain animals, or living and non-living entities like river, like trees, they need to be given legal status. The to develop the human environment relationship. The report focused on rapid developments in biotechnology and need to understand the ethical consequences of human relationship with the environment. Right? It develops biotechnology. Biotechnology, that is the application between but the application or the industrial application of our biology, that is called as biotechnology. So this biotechnology show that human beings are we are closely interlinked, right? Biotechnology show that our lives and the it shows that our lives and lives of the plants are closely interlinked. So we have to understand the ethical consequences also. Ethical consequences means biotechnology has many consequences, positive consequences, negative consequences. So we have to think about the ethical consequences and consequences of human relations with the environment, or in case of biotechnology. BioAge. BioAge. The increased integration of biotechnology human life will bring into new BioAge. Right now, genetically modified crops, for example, these are application of biotechnology, or genome sequencing. These are application of biotechnology. Right, we are using, for example, by application of biotechnology, we are producing high yield varieties of seeds. Our food production are based on biotechnology. So there is increased integration between, for example, we are creating such type of crops. That means there is highly our integration with the plant species or such type of crops has increased. So there is increased integration of biotechnology in the human life will bring in the BioAge. Integration of the life sciences with modern technology through production of genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Production of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, engineering of genes to enhance disease resistance. Gene editing indicate that biotechnology is more likely to pervade our lives in future. Yes. So enhance disease resistance. Engineering, enhance to disease resistance, because nowadays we are witnessing various types of disease resistance, that is microbial resistance, that is drug resistance or viral resistance, antibacterial disease resistance, especially because we take huge amount of antibiotics we are taking, so that is also developing. Engineering of genes to enhance disease resistance. Yes. Another thing, gene editing, CRISPR technology. We are using CRISPR technology to that is gene editing. Our objective is, the objective of gene editing is simply this, that is to remove the conditions, gene editing in case of, that is to that is removed. For example, so we are some there's many patients who are suffering from genetical diseases, right? Genetical diseases cannot be cured easily. For example, albinism, that cannot be cured disease, certain genetical diseases. So that requires gene editing. We have molecular seizure or CRISPR technology, and by that CRISPR technology, it's the molecular seizure, we can edit the genes, and that will be very helpful so far our healthcare, preventive healthcare is concerned. So that is very important. Indicate the biotechnology is the most likely to prevail our lives in the future. Yes, it is going to prevail in the life and future. For example, we are going to have bioprinting, right? This is a new technology. For example, there is a technology that is called as bioprinting. Bioprinting means we can produce, at present, suppose we are able to produce cells under bioprinting, right? Cells under bioprinting. For example, it is an application of 3D printing. We have 3D printing, it's a machine. 3D printing, it's a machine. It is a machine in which you just import the raw material, and based on design you can produce different types of goods. For example, you are introducing plastic material, and from the end you input the design of a chair will be produced. You input the design of a table will be produced. So from the same machine, different goods can be produced like the design, based on the designs, right? So that is called as 3D printing. And similarly, the application of 3D printing in case of biology is called as bioprinting, by which we are now able to create cells. we are now able to create cells, and after a few years we expect that we will be able to create tissues, and after that we can also produce organs. So up to this level there is potential. So the bioprinting has a potential to create human organs in future, right? So that is the, so our lives are lives are going to be highly integrated with the biotechnology. So and another thing is that for diagnosis also, for example, for diagnosis, human body is highly complex, right? A doctor, when he see a particular person, their body is everybody's biology is highly complex. Complex means because everybody has different genes, everybody has different upbringing, different food habits. So if you see the biology of different persons, they have different biologies, and we cannot apply the same medicine to all these to all the people we meet. For example, there is 50 people we meet, and 50 people are suffering from the same disease. We cannot give the same medicine to everybody because everybody has different requirements, everybody has different complex biological system, right? That's why we need individualistic healthcare system, right? Because such type of medicines that is not applicable to your body, it has certain consequences that is not good for your health. So for exact diagnosis based on your exact problem, such type of individualist healthcare is the aim of our medical science, right? That's why we have genome sequencing, right? In case of genome sequencing, your whole health data can be presented before the doctor, and that will be very helpful so far as your preventive healthcare and is concerned. So biotechnology and so in case of agriculture, in case of health, in case of disease diagnosis, in case of many other sectors, for example, industrialist products also, biotechnology, application of biotechnology is increasing. It will mark the end of digital information age. This era will require legal intervention to hold researchers accountable to the impact of their work in the environment. Legal accountable, that means if you are making any violating any law, you will be punished, right? If you are violating the if a particular river is declared as legal entity and you are polluting it, then you will be held responsible for it. If its character changes, you are also like a legal entity means you are making harm to another person, so that will be accountable, so you will get punished, and that will ensure better conservation of this natural resources. There will be question of the nature of juristic person and recognized by law, which is otherwise is not comes in. Right. Granting legal rights and protection is to non-human systems, flora, fauna, rivers, ecosystem, landscapes would recalibrate human environment relationship, bring ethical conduct to the field, right? More responsible. People will be more responsible for conservation of such type of natural resources. Okay. Ecuador, the first country in the world to recognize the rights of nature. The rights of nature. The South American country of Ecuador, 2008, approved a constitution that grants tropical forest, islands, river and air legal rights to exist, flourish and evolve. South Africa, right, Ecuador. It approved constitution that grants tropical forest, islands, river, air legal rights to exist, flourish and evolve, so that nobody can make any harm towards the tropical forest, because tropical forest, they are the carbon sink of the whole world. They affect if tropical forest are affected, that will affect the whole climate of the whole world, and that will induce climate change, with the biggest problem we are suffering as of now. So tropical forest, island, rivers, they are very critical so far as environment is concerned. More recently, Ecuador became the first country to grant legal rights to individual wild animals. To individual wild animals, legal rights has been given. That means if you are violating them, they will strictly punished. Okay. Bolivia, establishing the law of Mother Earth. Bolivia is establishing law of Mother Earth. Bolivia granted all nature rights equal to humans in 2011. All nature rights equal to that of humans. That means you are cutting a tree and you will be almost equal to cutting a human being. So it has given all nature rights equal to the human beings in 2011 to ensure for conservation of nature. Okay. Then it established the law of rights of Mother Earth. It established the law of rights of the Mother Earth. It provided legal status to Mother Earth and all its components, which includes human beings, entitling them to inherent rights recognized by law. Inherent rights recognized by law. So they are given more rights. These include the right to life and to exist, the right to continue vital cycles and processes free of the human alteration, the right to pure water and clean air, the right to balance and the right to pollution-free living. The right to balance and the right to pollution-free living. These are the right that includes the right to life to exist. It can be interpretation of Article 21 of the Constitution also, because that also gives us the right to have pure water and clean air. New Zealand's Wanganui River, first in the world to be given legal status. Wanganui River in the New Zealand, it is the first in the world to be given legal status. The Maori people have been fighting for the river to be recognized as a civil entity about 160 years. To recognize as a living entity, yes. The Maori people have been fighting for the river about 160 years. They are fighting for the river to be recognized as a living entity. The New Zealand Parliament 2017 passed Wanganui River Claiming Settlement of Bill, which granted legal personhood to the river Wanganui. In case of India, Article 51AG, that is under fundamental duties. Constitution of India lays down the principle of fundamental duty of every citizen to protect wildlife and have compassion for all the living creatures. Right. So protection of wildlife, it is a fundamental duty. It's protection of wildlife also comes under the responsibility of the state under DPSP as well. However, such duties are not enforceable by law. They are mere duties. DPSP or fundamental duties under Part V of the Constitution. They are not enforceable by law, but it is expected that the citizens will obey it. The Uttarakhand High Court in 2017 granted river Ganga and its longest tributary Jamuna as a legal right to be protected and not to be harmed. So there, Uttarakhand High Court, it has given legal right to Ganga and Jamuna based on their biodiversity, based on their importance regarding so far as biodiversity is concerned. Okay, next is Global Hunger Index. Now this is in news. It's in huge debate because India has been performing very low since many years, right? In the category at rank 107, it is seen that Sri Lanka has 64, Nepal has 81, Bangladesh has 84, Pakistan has 99 so far as Global Hunger Index is concerned, right? India's score is 29.1 places in the serious category. In the serious category, India's score is 29.1 in its serious category. So Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh and Pakistan, they have performed better. Afghanistan is the only country in the South Asia that performs worse than India in the index of Global Hunger Index. China is among the countries collectively ranked between 1 to 17 having score less than 5. So it has performed very extremely well so far as hunger is concerned. Okay, India out of 107 out of 121 countries in the Global Hunger Index, in which it fares over all countries South Asia bearing the Afghanistan. So why is the issue of this hunger? First thing is India's child wasting rate, that is low weight and for height, child wasting, low weight for height at 19% is worse than the levels recorded in 2014, that is 15%. And even 2000, that is 17%. So now that is increased. So wasting has increased over the last years. And it is the highest for any country in the world. The drive to the region's average owing to India's large population, right? So low weight, child wasting rate, low height per head that is around 19.3% at present, and it is highest for any country in the world. Next, prevalence of undernourishment, which is a measure of the proportion of the population facing chronic deficiency of dietary energy intake. So population are facing chronic deficiency of dietary energy intake has also risen in the country from 14% to 16% 2021 to 16.3 2019 to 2021. This translates into 224 million of people in the India as considered undernourished or malnourished, or that is lack of food intake, nutritious food intake. India has shown improvement in child stunting. Which has declined from 38.7% to 35.5% between 2004 and 2014 and 2022, as well as child mortality, which is also dropped from 4.6 to 3.3 in the same comparative period. So our child stunting has also it is from 38% it has become 35%, that is low height. So this prevalence of undernourishment, that is dietary deficiency, and chronic deficiency dietary energy intake, that is low and high child wasting rate and high stunting rate, such type of problems that lead to global hunger index. In the whole, India has shown slight worsening with the GHI score increasing from 28.2 in 2004 to 29.1 in 2022. So this is GSI score is also it has hunger index that has declined. It is increased from 28.2 to 29.1 in 2022. Through the GHI and annual report, the ranking is not comparable across the different years. The GHI score for 2022 can only be compared to the scores of 2000, 2007 and 2014. Okay, so you can see the graph here. See the picture. India scored 29.1 in 2022. Global index falls under serious category in the hunger meter. It ranked 107 out of 121 countries. So yes, this is serious category, and here India is there. 107. 29.1. Global Hunger Index is a tool for comprehensively measuring and tracking hunger at global, regional and national levels. The GHI scores are based on the values of 4 component indicators, that is undernourishment, child stunting, child wasting and child mortality. So these 4 indicators that that determines the global hunger index. These are the 4 parameters. Countries are divided into 5 categories of hunger based on their score, which is low, moderate, serious, alarming, and extremely alarming. Based on the values of the 4 indicators, a GHI score is calculated on a 100-point scale reflecting the severity of hunger, where 0 is the best score and 100 is the worst score. Right? So for hunger is concerned, 0 is best score and 100 is the worst. 100 is the worst score. Each country's GHI score is calculated based on a formula that combines the 4. That is, child stunting, undernourishment, child wasting, and child mortality. Combining the 4, GHI is calculated. Okay. Undernourishment, the share of population with insufficient caloric intake. So caloric intake is, so far as population is less. Child stunting, the share of children under age 5 who have low height for their age, reflecting chronic undernutrition. Child wasting, the share of children under the age of 5 who has low weight for their height, reflecting acute undernutrition. Low weight, right? Child wasting, low weight, and child stunting means low height. Child mortality means share of children die before 5th birthday. That means within 5 years, partly reflecting the fatal mix of inadequate nutrition and all the environments. Taken together, the component indicators reflect deficiencies in calories as well as micronutrients. So these are the they are the four parameters based on which the global hunger index is calculated. Then what do you mean by hunger? Hunger is usually understood to refer distress associated with the lack of sufficient calories. Undernutrition is a result of inadequate intake of food. Inadequate intake of food in terms of either quantity or quality, poor utilization of nutrients due to infections or other illness, combination of these immediate causes. Malnutrition is refers to more broadly to both undernutrition and overnutrition. That is malnutrition. Problems caused by unbalanced diets that involve consuming too many calories in relation to requirements with or without low intake of micronutrient rich foods. So malnutrition, it may be undernutrition and that may be overnutrition. But undernutrition means inadequate of food calories, that is undernutrition. Lack of sufficient calories. Overnutrition resulting in overweight, obesity, non-communicable diseases like, for example, heart diseases or diabetes. All these are called as non-communicable diseases. Is increasingly common throughout the world. While overnutrition is an important concern, GSI focus specifically on issues related to undernutrition. Right? Specifically undernutrition, we majorly focus on undernutrition. Next is SLBM launched by INS Arihant. Ministry of Defense has announced indigenous ballistic missile. Right? Launched submarine. INS Arihant has successfully launched a nuclear capable submarine launched ballistic missile. Submarine launched ballistic missile in the Bay of Bengal with very high accuracy. That usually ballistic missiles has less accuracy than the cruise missile, but this submarine launched ballistic missile has high accuracy. The test. The submarine launched ballistic missile launched from the country's first indigenous strategic strike nuclear submarine, that is INS Arihant, that is first nuclear submarine. The test is significant for nuclear ballistic submarine or SSBN program, which is crucial element of India's nuclear deterrence capacity. What do you mean by deterrence? Deterrence means, for example, you are stopping others to act against you, right? That is deterrence. You can create deterrence. You are stopping others. It means indirectly there is no war. But for example, suppose you are developing your arms. Suppose you are developing your capacity. Even if you don't want any offensive action from your side, even if you don't want to attack others from your side, if you have developed your own capacity, then others will stop. Others will not dare to attack you. That is called a deterrence, right? That is creating deterrence. That is stopping others to attack you. That is deterrence. So to develop the different deterrent capacities, that is INS Arihant. Okay, so it is a crucial element in the India's deterrence capacity. The missile was tested to a predetermined range and impacted the target area in the Bay of Bengal with very high accuracy. Right? very high accuracy. It has tried. All the operational and technological parameters of the weapon system has to be validated. The successful user training launch of SLBM by NSA is significant to prove crew competency and validate SSBM program. A robust, survivable, assured retaliatory capability in keeping India's policy to have credible minimum deterrence that underpins no fast use commitment. See, what do you mean credible minimum deterrence? At least we should have a certain level of deterrence so that others will not dare. For example, China is there also. China is a threat to our external security. Now we should have a credible minimum deterrence, means we should have a minimum capacity so that the others will not dare to attack us, right? That is credible minimum deterrence. If something becomes less than credible minimum deterrence, that becomes easier. For example, suppose credible minimum deterrence for with respect to Pakistan is less as compared to credible minimum deterrence with respect to China, right? So that is the minimum deterrence, which others think that if I am attacking the India, then there will be mutually assured destruction, MAT. That means both will suffer severely. So we should have at least minimum capacity, which will ensure that suppose China attacks India, both countries will suffer MAD or mutual assured destruction, or even China realizes that I will be suffered badly. Both countries, India will suffer and as well as China will also suffer badly. That is what we call as credible minimum deterrence. We have also no fast use commitment. In our nuclear policy, we have no fast use commitment. And what is this no fast use commitment? No fast use commitment is that commitment, especially which says that India will not attack any country from its own. India will not attack any country from its own. Why so? Because that creates that India is a responsible player so far as nuclear energy is concerned. We will not attack nuclear power to any other country from our own side. And another thing is that we will not attack any non-nuclear country, right? Suppose a country we are having a war with Bangladesh, for example. It will never happen, but still that is suppose they are having a war with Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a non-nuclear country, so India will never apply nuclear power to the Bangladesh. So especially we will never attack from our side, and neither will attack those countries who do not have nuclear power. That are the policies of our nuclear doctrine. Another thing is that if any country attacks us, then we have a policy of massive retaliation. So if any country is attacking by nuclear power, we will have massive retaliation. That means we will retaliate with a much higher range. Why we have such a policy? This policy create a deterrence. That is what created deterrence. I will not slap you, but if you slap me, I will slap you 3. If you slap me once, I will slap you 3 times. So that is massive retaliation. By saying this, I am forcing you to stop, not to dare to slap me once. That is what we call as deterrence. Okay. The official didn't reveal the specification and range of missile that was launched, but suggested it could have been the K-15. Right? They have K-15, that is called as Sagarika, belonging to the K family of the SLBMs. K family of SLBMs. Okay. Submarine. Okay. So the submarine, it is commissioned 2016. That is INS Arihant. It is India's first indigenous nuclear power submarine. Built under the Secretive Advanced Technology vessel, that is ATV project, which is initiated in 1990s. INS Arihant and its class submarines are classified SSBN, which is Hall classification symbol of a nuclear power ballistic missile carrying submarines. So it has submarine nuclear power. It can nuke submarines. While Navy operates on the vessel, operations on the SSBMs from the SSBN are under purview of India Strategic Force Command, which is India's Nuclear Command Authority. Right? Strategic Force Command, Nuclear Command Authority, where PM is the top decision maker. That lies with the PM. That do not lie with the decision making. It is with the civilian government. Right? In case of nuclear power, the application of nuclear power will not be based on the decision of the defense or defense ministry or the army of army or the chief of army or chief of navy. It will be based on the civilian government, that is with the prime minister. In November 2019, INS Arihant completed its first deterrence patrol. The government announced establishment of India's survival nuclear triad. Part of the K family SLBM K-15 Sagarika, which is also called as B-05 or Sagarika. It has a range of 750 km. INS Arihant can carry a dozen of K-15 missiles on the board. India has also developed successfully tested K-4 missiles from the family, which have a range of 3,500 km. So we have also developed K-4 type of missiles that has a range of 3,005 km. We can say the long range ballistic missiles. In January 2020, the two successful tests of the K-4 missile were conducted from the submerged platforms off coast of Andhra Pradesh within the span of 6 days. These tests were to keep step towards ultimately deploying K-4s in the INS Arihant. Right, so there K-4s are deployed in the INS Arihant to establish maritime security in the Indian Ocean region, and we can up to it has a range of 3,500 km. The course names are K5, K6 and range of 5,000 km and 6,000 km respectively. K5 and K4. 5,000 km and 6,000 km are under development. Okay, strategic significance. The capability of able to launch nuclear weapon submarine platform has great strategic significance in the context of achieving nuclear triad, especially in the light of the no first use policy. Right. So we have to develop our nuclear capacity. We have being a responsible power. We have being a responsible nuclear power. We have to enforce it, and also it will make us security. It will declare to India as a net security provider in the objective is to gain the status of net security provider in the Indian Ocean region. The sea-based underwater nuclear capability test assist significantly increases the second strike capability and thus validates nuclear deterrence. Second strike capability that validates nuclear deterrence. That means if, for example, if in our land area a particular country has applied, if any particular country has applied its nuclear weapons on the land area, on the territorial area, we can attack both from land and also from the sea. So that achieving credible minimum deterrence. These submarines can only survive the first strike by the adversary, but also can launch strike in retaliation. So it can also survive the first strike. If any is striked, it will not be destroyed. It will survive the first strike, and also it can retaliate. The development of these capabilities is important in the light of India's relationship with China and Pakistan. With China being deployed in many of its submarines, including some are under nuclear capable, India's capacity building on the nuclear power submarines and of the nuclear capable missiles, right, that has developed. Okay, Pakistan Navy operates in 5 diesel electric submarines, and 3 mini submarines under 150 ton displacement. So in total they have operates 5 diesel electric submarines and 5 mini submarines. Okay. We will next see Iran's kamikaze drones. What are these kamikaze drones? Ukraine's capital region has struck kamikaze drones. Was struck by Iranian-made kamikaze drones recently. Ukraine's capital region was struck by Iranian-made kamikaze drones recently. We see that Iran and Russia have very good close relationship. What is this kamikaze? These are small unmanned aircraft paired with explosive that can flow directly at a tank or a group of troops that are destroyed when they hits the target. Right? So if they hit the target, they all will be destroyed. The name comes from the World War II era feared Japanese kamikaze pilots who conducted suicide attacks by intentionally crashing their explosive field aircraft into enemy targets. That is kamikaze pilots. Japanese kamikaze pilot. They destroyed. That is suicidal. They were destroying their aircrafts to that is kamikaze pilots. That is one type of suicide. But these are unmanned. Those are manned, but these are unmanned. The modern drone versions have capability of surpassing traditional defenses to strike their targets, and also cheaper than their larger counterparts. The small lethal drones are difficult to detect on radar, and through the use of facial recognition can be programmed to hit the target without human intervention. Just by facial recognition, that can be targets. That is used in case of Iran. Which country have such drones? Some countries have admitted using such type of armed drones, which are utilizing them to carry out covert attacks. According to the military, Iranian-backed militias have used small drones in 10 attacks on the Iraq bases this year. Azerbaijan has used small Turkish-made drones against Armenian military few years ago. So these are used by these countries. So discuss the role of National Commission of Backward Classes in the wake of transformation from statutory body to constitutional body. So what is the role changed when it transformed from statutory body to constitutional body? The National Commission of Backward Classes statutory body under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Later it becomes the 102nd Constitutional Amendment of 2018 provided constitutional status to the NCBC. In 2018, constitutional status to NCBC, that is 102nd Constitutional Amendment that provided constitutional status to NCBC. That means National Commission for Backward Classes become a constitutional body. That is mentioned in the Constitution. There are various transformations that happened in the new NCBC. It is statutory body. It derives its power from statutes or laws made by the Parliament, while now the constitutional body derives its power from the authorities of the Indian Constitution. So earlier it was deriving its power from Parliament, law made by Parliament. Now it is deriving from the Indian Constitution. Obviously, the power will be much more. Okay. One is the second Constitutional Amendment, Article 3. It has inserted Article 338B, which is regarding NCBC to examine complaints, welfare measures. These are lacking in the previous NCBC. 102nd CA also inserted a new article, that is 342 Article A, which brings greater transparency in the act specified concurrence in the Parliament, which mandatory in the amendment of the list of the backward classes. So, it has brought greater transparency and specified the concurrence in the Parliament, mandatory amendment of the list of the backward classes. So, obviously now the backward class list will be amended. In the new NCBC, the focus has shifted from reservation to the development, and backward class and the inclusion of grievance redressal. Reservation to the NCBC, yes. In the new NCBC, the focus has shifted from reservation to development of the backward class and inclusion of grievance redressal. However, there are some underlying issues like recommendation of the NCBC is not mandatory and it has no responsibility to define backwardness. So recommendations are not mandatory. This is a problem. NCBC is an important commission of social progress. It should be gender sensitive and what should be more, there should be no vote bank politics, better implementation of its recommendation need to be assured, right? So this is about the 102nd Constitutional Amendment, that is National Commission of Backward Classes. the lectures end here today, and like this video, share and subscribe to VANIK-IAS. Thank you. Have a nice day.